Hello, Miss Esther, and this is Alka from Global Women Power, and we are in a series of conversation with different women of excellence, and this series is called as Meet Our Sheroes. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being with us today. Um, Mostly we run this process as we go. We go with the flow. There's nothing, we prepare in advance. And so I keep the naturalness of our conversation. So to begin with, I would like to ask you, tell more about yourself and from where did you start your journey? What are you doing today? And what are your future plans?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Esther Adams-Aroni, and a little bit about who I am right now. I'm a licensed Israeli social worker here in Israel, living here in Israel. I made Aliyah here about 5 years ago. I have a doctorate of psychology. I also have a master's of social work. My undergrad was on military resiliency and crisis counseling. So there was definitely a tone of trauma-informed care all throughout my academics. That's where I'm at right now. I had started school later in life. And I first started school going to pre-law. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. And just so happened that I changed my major and I started going into crisis counseling and studying how to build a better soldier. And from there, I just knew that I wanted to obtain my doctorate. So last year, April, I achieved that. And where I would like to go, wow, there's so many different things. I would like to help as many people as possible. I think that our world definitely needs healing, especially living in Israel. Currently during a war, we are about 3.5 months into living in a war right now. So there is a lot of healing to take place here in Israel as well as the world.
Very impressive. This choosing these subjects, which a woman doesn't think like that, maybe because we are so emotional beings and very sensitive, working with military. So, is it considered a men's world in Israel also, or you got in the men's world by working in the military?
Yeah, I think that that's an interesting perspective. As from my perspective, for what I do, I believe that this is it's equal and free because I work in my private practice. I make my own schedule. I work with people who I want to work with. So I feel very free. But I know that I'm fortunate in this way, and this is something that I'm very grateful for, but this is something that has taken a very long time to establish.
And who are mostly your clients? Women or men?
I have a combination of both.
So because you introduced military domain in this, that's why I'm intrigued. How does that work? Military resilience?
Here in Israel, I don't see any military. I might be, seeing military members or doing something in the future. But I would say as an active duty, everybody in Israel, you're required if you're born here in Israel, or even if you enlist later in life, if you're coming from a different country making Aliyah, you can enlist in the IDF, but for the most part, here in Israel, because we're such a small country, and people who are out during the war right now in Gaza or in the north, these are your doctors, these are your psychologists, these are your psychiatrists. You know, I know that there was for a while in the beginning where, you know, people are trying to find their psychiatrist because he went out to the field. These are normal people that have gone to war fighting for their country. So it's really at a grassroots level where it's just normal people. It's not like the American military or any other kind of military organization that's a predominant figure.
So they are the best healers, though, you know, people, those who are on the ground level, because they understand the grassroots reality. You know,
Yes.
you don't understand that from books or, you know, discussing with each other. So meet Nancy,
Hi,
um,
Nancy.
who is also from Israel.
Shalom,
You know.
Esther, ma shlomech, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
Good to see you.
So we have
I'm honored
more.
you joined us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Mhm. So we have lots of information from Nancy because she has lived in Israel for a couple of years. How many years did you live in Israel, Nancy?
4 years.
Beautiful.
So, uh, about your journey and right from the very beginning, when you start going to school or going to college, did you have any mentor who directed your life course?
No, I had my higher power. That's who I truly believe is my guide in life. This is how I'm here today.
Perfect. And so, any courses and any subjects which you took and you want others to follow for this kind of lifestyle, you know, like being a counselor, being a social worker, anything you can suggest to our audience?
I would really just suggest the attitude going into academics is the most important thing. If you're going into this like, oh, this is, you know, a statistics class and my major is, you know, psychology, to maintain a curious mindset. I think that that's the most important thing in achieving your goal, whatever it is, and in life in general, is to become curious about how life is going to shine upon you and to show you maybe new things and things that you haven't seen or discovered before. And it stirs this curiosity in you that makes you want to wake up every day and makes you want to interact with the world and gives you a joy.
I was earlier talking to somebody, and he said the motivation to get up in the morning is either need or greed. But today I learned a new thing, curiosity.
Mm.
Get up in the morning because you're curious what's going to happen. So, looking at the general state of mankind, are you hopeful that we will be able to going towards the peace or all wars?
I think in general and in human nature, we, at least as a woman who brings life into this world, I want peace for every mother. I think that for, I can't speak for every mother, but I can speak for the mothers that I do know that we want peace. And that is, that can become complex. And I think that this is a great platform where it can encourage women to rise up and, you know, praying that their higher power will guide them into leadership roles, where this feminine aspect of giving life and giving birth and wanting good things can change the climate of the world. I truly believe that. So
Um, I agree, because I feel that if you help a woman, and then that is in our capacity of being a mother, a wife, she can completely take over the whole family, supporting a woman, and because she plays so many roles.
yes.
And but I always felt that even today, women are little bit or more suppressed, in their expression. Or is it still, from your perspective also, that they are suppressed from their own, definition of themselves?
Well, how I see people in my therapy office, people are not suppressed in my therapy office. That's why they're here, to allow if things are suppressed to come out, that they can feel free. And I think that's what, therapy can be really empowering, is to alleviate that suppression. As for, I don't know what context, if you're talking about general in the world.
Generally.
Okay. I think that could be subjective. I mean, there are some really amazing high power women out there that are just, dominating the industry.
Mhm.
And then you have women that maybe it's their choice, that they're a stay-at-home mom and they do find empowerment there. I think that as individuals, that would be my hope and prayer, is that, each woman could feel empowered in their daily life of whatever they believe is their empowerment.
Yes. So the word I take from here is, it is their choice to remain suppressed or, fully express themselves.
I think a lot of factors play into that, where that could be culture, religion, just the family dynamics. So I think it really comes down to an individual. I mean, it's hard to say on a broad spectrum, because as a therapist, an individual client comes in and you do an assessment on them. And, this is where you're really finding out, where the person is at, where have they been to come up to this point? What are their real struggles? So that's kind of hard to do, like an assessment on the world or something, or all women in the world, because there are so many different things. I mean, we could look at specific areas or specific regions, or, where you can look at it and you could clearly see that this clearly defines suppression in this world. And that is by no choice of their own. But it depends on who that audience is, who are you talking to? When we're talking about all women, I think the women that maybe are living in a suppressed environment or a suppressed culture, trying to find within yourself. I think we're all born with this innate power within ourselves, that if we put our trust in a higher power and try to focus on this, that possibly something can open up. Again, getting back to a curious mentality. But
because I myself have come from, my original country is India. At present, I am in the United States. So I saw the choices I made, wasn't womanly possible at all the times when I made them. And so now many a times, when I consult with women, women folk in particular, even if they are in influential part of their life. The
Mm,
choices they make, keep them stick to their womanhood in, in patriarchal society or something like that. So many
mhm,
times, I encourage them to go for the choices which a human being can make, not
mm,
like being a woman or man. And so that is an area which needs to be encouraged, I think,
mm,
particularly in the women folk, that life is guided and directed by the choices you made
mm.
or you make.
Yep.
Perfect. So I learned few couple of new words from you, which I will add to my dictionary. I'm sincerely telling that. Curiosity and choices.
Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nancy, you have any question?
Yeah, sorry about all the interruption. My battery here was running dead, and Sanjay, Dr. Sanjay is with me. He's a homeopathist that works with Alka for Global Women Power. We run a community kitchen. But I have a question about your therapy thing. I noticed you use horses as a catalyst to for couples therapy. How do they react when they first see a horse there?
Wow, that you're absolutely right. I use horses. I also use poodles, and dogs, and we have a array of animals here at the farm in Israel. And in particularly with the couples work and working with horses, if they've come to a session, usually one it is animal oriented, or maybe both are animal oriented, but the other one is curious to see, like, okay, what is this going to be like? Um, so their first,
Curious.
yeah, their first initial reaction, usually if you're getting on the farm and you're seeking animal assisted therapy, you're wanting a connection with animals and nature, and that's what I provide is that connection. So
So there's some kind of chemical, especially with cats, that calms both the cat and the human when they're around each other. I forgot what it's
yeah,
called. For pheromones or something.
So
yeah,
is
there's
this
Pheromones.
your own idea completely? This therapy?
yes, this is something I've done animal assisted therapy even in America, when I worked in America. So this translated over to my therapy here in Israel. Prior to that, I was a world national title competitor. So I had a background in animals and horses and stuff like that. So this is my familiar ground, and this is my happy ground. I love interacting with animals, and I love helping people. So
Like,
She
so
trains horses too. They do unique walks and things. It's amazing. She has her own horses. They're Arabian, black Arabian horses.
do you train more people in your technology or whatever you're doing?
I do telehealth. This is something that there's quite a bit of people that see me via telehealth. Um, and then also people that come and see me here on the farm. Yeah.
No, but then other people, if they want to practice it as coach or, worldwide, anywhere.
Yeah, I do provide, I do international coaching.
Okay.
So there's also some countries that don't regulate therapy,
Mm.
such as Israel. Israel does not regulate therapy, although you could be a licensed Israeli social worker. You actually don't need to have a license to practice therapy here, which is interesting. So there's many countries such as like Spain and Vietnam, just to name a couple, that don't regulate therapy. And therapists are able to see people around the world depending on your insurance, but you're able to see people around the world. Me personally, I do international coaching, which is different than therapy.
Right.
So that's more focusing on like the here and now and the future. in coaching, you don't process any type of trauma or any type of therapy work. It's strictly coaching.
Does
So
that
that can be
include
a,
massage therapy? You don't need a license?
What's that?
Massage therapy. Does that also not require a license in Israel?
Wow, such a good question. I don't know.
Massage, okay. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Alka.
but then this can be a good career opening for people, women in general, if they want to learn from you. And do you have laid out coaching programs? If you can send it to us, we can promote that.
Absolutely. I have, it's all on my website. It's strides2solutions.com. I'll give you that information. And there's a button on there for coaching, and they can read more information about it.
And then they can practice if they want to. Because maybe in India also it is not that much regulated therapy.
Oh yeah, India?
Yeah. So
Okay.
do you give a certificate of coaching completion?
I don't do certificate of coaching, but I can definitely help people get on that process of meeting your goals.
Right. But if they want to practice it, will you give them a coaching certificate to practice?
I don't have an actual coaching program.
Okay.
No.
Understood. That was my question. That if you have a coaching program, then women can learn and they can also make it as a their career as well in different countries.
Okay, it's a
Yes.
good business concept.
Right. And so now at present, when you are in this war zone, and what are your gut feeling about the war continuing, or
Mm.
the influence on the whole world about the war that's going on?
Well, from a mental health aspect, I think that I'm concerned about Israel's resiliency. And I've actually launched a free course, 10-module course online to boost your resiliency. And this has what we collectively experienced, whether it was collectively that you experienced some symptoms, or maybe you as an individual experienced acute stress disorder, the actual criteria to meet that. I think that many of us experienced that in the beginning of October 7th. And now, because acute stress disorder has a time limit on it. This is the DSM-5, where it says, acute stress disorder can last up to 3 months. And when we start thinking about, what does this look like after this? And in context of a war, which we have to understand that living in a war for many people is chronic stress. This is something that's on a daily basis that you're experiencing, body, mind, and soul. And when you're moving out of that 3-month phase and going into 4-month, now we're talking more about chronic adjustment disorder. So I'm not saying that the entire population has that, but this is something to stay on a lookout. So in my course, it's psychoeducational. It's not therapeutic. It's psychoeducational of getting people the resources of, if you're seeing certain symptoms, to contact your doctor to seek professional help. And, if you're feeling like you're having a couple symptoms, here are some other things where, physically, physical activities, cognitive activities, nutritional activities to engage in to actually boost your resilience. So from a mental health perspective, I think that that's, one thing that I'm concerned about the population of maintaining their resilience, because we've seen fabulous resilience since day one of the war. You see a bunch of women cooking in their kitchen, feeding hundreds of soldiers in a unit. You know, we see people, you know, raising funds for this unit that needs something, or, you know, this person is going off to war and needs this. And this is a community that has just come together in such resilience, and people are filling in the gaps, and there's so much unity.
Yeah, these are the
Phenomenal.
byproducts.
Before the war, there's a lot of political factions and feelings, and the liberals and the conservatives. It's amazing what you might think of things, you know, in the Jewish practice, everything is meant for the good. So why a horrible war coming? It brought all the Israelis together. A miracle.
Yeah.
So a person like me, you know, I also get suppressed and stressed by listening to all these kind of news. I stay away from the news completely. Do you think I am in denial, or this is the right way to do it?
Well, just because somebody turns off the news doesn't mean that they're in denial. Yeah.
Because I feel I
Even though a
cannot
lot
do
of media
anything.
lies, that's the problem.
Yes. So I want to mention one thing and compliment you about that. Whenever you smile, the world lights up. You know, you have beautiful smile.
Thank you.
And people, those who visit you, maybe this is the best take home they take from you. Like, keep smiling.
I'm a pretty happy person. I have a lot of joy in my life, and that doesn't mean I don't have a lot of struggles in my life. And a lot of times when I am struggling, I'm still going to smile and think that my higher power is going to smile down on me. I can smile here, and I can tell you that my son right now is in the hospital. He broke his 2 front teeth at school today, and his father is with him in the hospital right now. And I can sit here and I can smile with you, and I know where my joy is. My joy is within me, and this is something that I can have, and nobody's going to take it away from me. This is a joy that I fight for every single day to have. So for who's watching this and seeing me smile of, oh, she has no worries, or she has no challenges, I could go into a much deeper conversation, depending on how much time we have, on
Yes,
challenges.
Please do.
But I can tell you about, you know, sitting here and smiling. My son is in the hospital. He's 2.5. And I can tell you that I've had over 18 miscarriages to achieve having my son, over 12 IVF treatments. That probably was enough medicine for a horse. So this is like, this was just a portion of my life where I had a lot of struggles in this. And within just the miscarriage, my first husband divorced me because of my miscarriages here of doing this. And this was right before an age where my IVF doctor said, if I don't have a baby by this time, it's done. They're not going to do any more IVF with me of my own eggs, you know. And it just so happened, you know, I just keep pressing in when everything seemed like I was in my doctorate program, trying to treat my doctorate. I was miscarrying. I was getting a divorce. All this stuff was going on out of my control, you know, and I just kept thinking exactly what you were saying, where, you know, it's about choices. In my head, one step after the other. What is the next best thing I can do for myself? You know? So I ended up having, I ended up getting married, remarried, you know, Hashem brought that into my life, and then having a baby.
Hashem means God.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, another word you gave me right now, Fight for joy.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Fight for what? Fight for joy.
Yeah.
And you get it, right? And I could tell how precious that child is for you and who is in the hospital. And even then you are sitting here and talking to us. So that is what talks about you. And that is what makes you a perfect fit for your career. Because one shows up for whatever is needed and wanted.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect. And any books you have written or anything which people can read more about you, or any articles on the mental health, which can be uh, tips for women to regain their resilience and power?
Yeah. I have a ton of blogs on my website.
Okay, good.
I'm pretty active on my blog. And then I have that resilience course. Anybody can sign up for it.
Oh, that's nice. And that's also translated in some languages or only in English?
It's just in English right now.
Okay, good. Nancy, you have any other question?
Right now, I can't think of anything, but I do want to say she's very active on Facebook and has a group called Women Emuna Builders, meaning women of faith building. And she has women, people, not just women, from all walks of life, all religions. They come with the universal goal of positive reinforcement, prayer. She has a lot of activities of reading Psalms, which is very similar to Guru Granth Sahib. It's really nice what she does. And miracles happen.
Yeah.
Healings happen and all that. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
I can tell. So thank you very much for having being with us and having this platform as an opportunity to pass on your message. And as Nancy has mentioned, the Facebook group and also your blogs. And I will encourage people to either join the group or go through the blogs, because the wisdom that comes from the blogs is unmatched, because that comes by living experience.
Mhm.
And they can be used by anybody because somebody else has already used that.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you once again, and keep us in mind for any other message if you want to ever share with our audience. And you are welcome back on our portal.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. See you
Thank
again.
Okay.